We are rocking and rolling with episode 81. I knew what episode number it was. I was trying to, I don't know what the hell I was trying to do. Yeah, it's been a very interesting week. Let me see, last 30 days. I'm just pulling up stats on this podcast because we had a very interesting week. When I went to post this podcast, I usually use SoundCloud and then another service to distribute it. So it was originally set up where SoundCloud handled iTunes and then the other service handled iHeartMedia, Spotify, Stitcher, everything else. All the other places podcasts are. And that was working fine for a while. And the reason why I was using SoundCloud was because when I was getting the podcast started, a dude, his name was Ben, he worked at SoundCloud. He's like, hey, we want some creators on board. We're going to give you a free pro account. It's free for life. So I was like, cool. And then I got one for me for the Friday Night Crank SoundCloud. And then like a few of my friends, I was like, hey, could you give them free SoundCloud pro accounts too? And they did. So everybody had a podcast for a hot minute and it was great. And out of nowhere, they were just like, just kidding. You have to pay now either $12 a month or whatever the hell it is, or $144 a year. And I was like, no, because podcasting is essentially free. Plus, like, I have a server now, like, that I run all my stuff off of, so I could just have done it from the server. So I was just like, no, I'm not paying for this, because why? It's not convenient for anybody to go to SoundCloud to listen to a podcast for an hour. So, so I logged in and there's a way to like redirect the iTunes feed somewhere else. So I did put it under the other service that I use that's free. And here we go. And I guess it was a good move because the stats just jumped. I mean, it was my first podcast in a while, but stats were like all over the place. It was a little kind of ridiculous, honestly. So thank you for the hundreds and hundreds of you that have downloaded episode 80 in the past week. It was pretty interesting and pretty great. And yeah, I still don't understand why that happened. So yeah, thank you. It's pretty much averaging 116 listens a day, which is pretty nuts, except today. As of recording this, it was listened to 5 times. So that means it's time for a new episode. So I don't know if they actually update all the time. I don't know. So let's see. 50, whatever, 37 plus 22 is, Jared. 59% were from iTunes, 17% YouTube, 5% on an Apple Watch. So that's pretty cool. 1% on iHeartRadio, 6 on Spotify, and 4 on jaredmcmullen.com. So I don't even know how the hell you got to that page because that's like under construction. So can you get to the /podcast? Maybe you can. No, you can't. There's a password protect. So shout out to the 4 of you that figured out the password. I'm almost done with the website, so the password will be done soon. If you haven't already subscribed, go to iTunes. That's probably the easiest way if you have an iPhone. If you don't, there's like Overcast, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Just search for Jared McMullen, and I have some songs and podcasts that pop up. Just hit subscribe. I'm going to try and record these every Tuesday, release them every Wednesday, then maybe record them every Monday, release them Tuesday. I don't know. The next few weeks are going to be a little weird, but I'm going to pre-record one. I'm doing one of these kind of live-ish, and we're going to be integrating some segments. I got a lot of feedback from this podcast, which is weird. I mean, I asked for feedback, obviously, but you guys had some good feedback, mostly which to bring back this segment, which I plan on doing. It just takes more time, and I'm almost fighting off a bit of a cough. I'm almost done getting the segments all done, and then some new ones and everything like that. I'll be recording a podcast on Thursday for somebody else. I think it's a podcast. I don't even know what. I still have to listen to it, but it's a cool idea. The concept is we all like make up a movie idea on the spot. It's called Cinema Improv. They did one episode. Justin Gonzalez, who has been making content for a bit, asked me to do it, and I'm very excited. So Yes, that'll be Thursday. I don't know when it'll be up. So, did we almost lose power here? It's been crazy. It's been crazy weather today. But anyways, so if you want to subscribe to the podcast, please do. If you want to be a part of the podcast, I will be accepting questions and whatnot. You can either email podcast@jaredmcmullen.com or text or leave a voicemail at 843-593-0085. That is 843-593-0085. And a lot of the feedback that I got was to add timestamps to the podcast. So when you download the description from iTunes, or if you're listening to it on YouTube, you have timestamps of everything, and you can just kind of skip through all the BS and just listen to what you want to listen to, which I am going to do. I like that, as opposed to uploading separate clips of everything. I still might upload separate clips of stuff, but we'll see. I like long form stuff when I'm in the car. I like listening to podcasts and just chilling, and if they're all in separate clips, I'd lose my damn mind. And there are also ads on these podcasts. So yeah, we've made $6 last week. So hopefully that goes up. Not bad though. Not bad. Better than $0, I guess. I'm going to be messing around with some different ads. Right now they're just pre-roll, so before, and post-roll at the end. There's an option to do mid-roll, but then I'd have to like make a mid-roll and be like, we'll return right after this. And then if you just download it or it's on a platform where there are no ads, it's just going to be bizarre. So I still have to do some testing and see. I've only really listened to it on iTunes because I hate hearing my voice. So I'll check it out on iHeartRadio and Spotify and see if ads are still there. They shouldn't be if you pay for Spotify, right? I don't know. See, I have to figure out how all that works and then do all of that. But yeah, see, if I knew this was going to generate $6 a week, I definitely should have signed up for SoundCloud Pro at $8 a month. I'm just kidding. God, what is like? And the thing that pissed me off about the most about SoundCloud is once my account was a basic account, it took away my ability to go into the back end and modify the podcast. So I had to like. So I asked the dude, I'm like, hey, could you just enable me for like another day? Because if I had a heads up, I would have did this earlier, but then there was a way to do it that wasn't advertised that I found using Google and got that moved. So that was good. Let me get to my notes now. But thank you all for the feedback and whatnot and for submitting questions. We're going to get to all of them at some point. But this week was a very interesting week. We'll just get right to the title because you're probably like, Jared, what the hell is going on with this title? But I could have killed Weird Al this week, and I chose not to. No, I had no intention of harming that beautiful, beautiful man. You know, he's 59 years old. That is insane. That is just ridiculous. Like twice my age and just in amazing shape. He was doing high kicks. I'll kind of recap a little bit. For Christmas, Teresa got me Weird Al tickets, and I was so pumped because I've always wanted to see him. He's always been on my bucket list, and we finally got to see him this week in Charlotte, wherever that is. So that was amazing. So here's what happened. This is the second time this has happened, and I can't even explain. So this is the second time this has happened. The first time this security mishap happened was at the Shinedown concert, my first concert that I went to with Teresa a few years ago. So it's the same situation. I'm an idiot, and I usually have a knife and or taser or both with me. Pretty soon there'll be some more. I'll be strapping, but usually just at all times, just like a pocket knife or a box cutter type of thing or a switchblade or a taser. There's lots of selections when I wake up in the morning. So I don't know. I just forget. It's usually, I'm not going to say where it is, but it's in like one of my pockets that I don't usually pay attention to. It's not in my chapstick pocket. It's probably where it needs to be. It needs to go in my chapstick pocket because I'm in that hole all the time. And so we get out and we walk. We parked pretty not far away. It said 700 feet away. It was not 700 feet away. It was like a quarter of a mile away, which is fine. How many feet is that? How many feet is a quarter mile? 1,320 feet. So yeah, a little more than 700, but still. Anyways, so we get to security And I look at Teresa and I'm like, ah, crap, my knife. So I'm showing her, it's like folded up. It's about, I don't know, 5 inches when it's all folded up, like the handle. And it was like too hot. It was so hot. It's been like a crazy heat wave the past few days in South Carolina and North Carolina. The heat index was like 112 today. No, thank you. It was ridiculous. Just going to the car, I was sweating. But anyways, so we're at the concert. Second time this has happened. I realize I have a knife on me, which is not allowed. You're not allowed to bring a friggin' weapon into a concert. So I did what any normal person would do, is that I realized I could put it behind my ID in the wallet, like remove the slip that holds the card that holds your ID, put the knife in there, put my ID back, and then move all of my cards, like my debit cards and like insurance and whatnot, all to the same side where that was. So like all hidden on the left side of my wallet. That way, when you picked it up, it felt like there was weight to it. But when you opened it, you would assume it was the cards. This is terrible. And again, I'm not going to hurt Weird Al at this point, or ever. I'm never going to do it. So we go up to security, and they have a little bucket where you put your phone and whatever. So we put everything down. They're giving people crap for bringing chairs that are too big. They're sitting on the lawn. So they're just like, oh, these chairs are too big. It's going to obstruct the view of others. Like, just let these people live. God. So mad. Just so annoyed. So comes down to us. We kind of do our thing, right? And nothing happens. I mean, I get stopped because I had my Apple Watch on still, and we just go through. So I was like, cool. And the concert starts. He had like a 41-piece symphony orchestra playing, and it was beautiful. They did like some Star Wars and James Bond stuff to like warm up the orchestra. So then he comes out, he's doing one of his songs, I can't remember, and he goes for like a lap around the theater, and we're on the left side in the middle, but like 3 seats from the end. And there was like this child next to me and her boyfriend, and they were like so, like, their legs were so tiny when they sat down, you could still walk through. So in my head, like, I could have easily like jumped over these people. So he walks by, and I have a picture of it, which I'll probably post on Instagram, is like 5 feet away. And I'm thinking like, this is dangerous. Like, I'm not a dangerous person, but this is dangerous that they like didn't even check. She checked my keys at security. She's like, is it okay if I look at your keys? I'm like, okay, you're not going to check like, she didn't even open the wallet. Like, there was nothing. So, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to check my pockets for any sort of weapons before going into a concert, since this is the second time it's happened. To be fair, I've been to like 8 concerts since then, 9. So it's not all the time this happens, just some of the time. So Weird Al is okay, and he will be okay. He's going to live forever. And if something happens to him, it's not going to be because of me, because I don't want to hurt him. He was a great man, put on a great show. If you're ever into like just having a really mellow, chill crowd, just laughing and hanging out, go see that, because I think it was probably one of the most like respectful crowds I've ever seen in my life. That's with like any outdoor event or any like public event, sporting events, block parties. I went to like more ridiculous block parties on Long Island with like more rowdier crowds than all of the people that were at a Weird Al concert in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was amazing. And just crazy. Loved it. I would definitely see him again. And again, like I said before, so much energy for a 59-year-old man doing this for 30-something years. Incredible. So if you like his music, go see him. If you're not into him, then I guess don't see him. This tour, I guess, was very cool because he had the over-the-top orchestra, which made all the songs sound amazing, of course, but just a lot of it was unnecessary, and that's why I thought it was funny. So yeah. And then also this week, and the reason why I was late recording this podcast, I was going to go live and YouTube's being ridiculous as usual. So I'm just not going to mess with it because I want to get this over with. Because if I knew YouTube was going to be ridiculous, I would have recorded this earlier today not 7 o'clock at night. But yeah, I was making yogurt because I make yogurt every week because we are eating healthy. And I realized just because I'm bored usually, that the yogurt you buy in the store has a ridiculous amount of sugar and is really not that healthy for you. Unless you buy like the low fat, low sugar, then like, what are you doing? Just make it. So if you just buy whole milk, buy a thing of yogurt that you actually like that has like active culture, I guess. Heat the yogurt up to 185 degrees. Let the yogurt cool down to about 115 degrees. Pour in like half a cup of the starter culture crap. Stir it up. We use an Instant Pot, but you can just put it in the oven with the oven off and cover it for about 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, and boom, you have yogurt. So you pop it out, put it in a strainer, throw it in the fridge the next morning. You got yogurt, add some honey, and you're good to go. So that's what I was doing. So it should be done by like 10:40 tonight. So I was waiting for it to cool down because if it's too hot and you put the culture in, it kills it. So it can't eat away any of the lactose or whatever. And if it's not hot enough, then like it's not active. So has to be, what did it say? Between 108 and 102, between 102 and 115 degrees. So you have to cool it down from 185 to 115, and it takes about an hour, and it was annoying. But now we're good. Sorry. Now we're good. One more story about the Weird Al concert, and then I'll get back to my notes here. Since we were on the left, we were, like I said, third seat from the left in the middle of this theater, where there was a bunch of seats, outdoor, beautiful venue, great weather. It was hot, but it was fine. So a lot of people were getting up to get beer and hot dogs and whatever the hell else you get before a Weird Al concert. And we had to keep moving, which was fine. And as the night went on, I just didn't feel like standing up because the people next to us didn't have to stand up because they were like miniature humans. So why do I have to stand up? And I was just getting more and more annoyed. And my legs are long anyway, and like they were not cool with these seats, how close they were together. It was almost as bad as being on an airplane. Not quite, but almost. So thankfully, the small children next to us, they were grown adults. They had very tiny legs and didn't have to stand up, and it was pissing me the hell off. I'm still not over it because, like, why? And Teresa had to stand up sometimes, I guess, or she was just being nice, or maybe I was standing up, which prompted her to stand up. But anyways, so this guy was coming back right before the show started. He gets through the two children and gets to me, and I go to stand up, and he just like doesn't wait and just starts coming through, him and his wife. So now I can't stand up because like his ass is like on my kneecaps, and it's a lot of pressure for my long leg stand. So now I can't. I guess I could have stood up, but I was trying to. And then his wife is like, "Oh, we're sorry," and like they just forced their way through. And I was gonna like kick his heel, but I decided not to. A lot of violence could have happened at that concert. But no, it was fine. It was fine. So yeah, he just couldn't wait. And the extra time he spent trying to get past me, I don't even remember if Teresa stood up at that point. I don't think she did. No, she did. Because that's what made it more uncomfortable, was that she stood up. And I just didn't. And that's just going to be my new move, is if I see the same person too many times, I'm just not standing up. And I had shoes on, thankfully, because he was like stepping all over my toes. If I had flip-flops on, I probably would have not been moving today. So yeah, God, just breezing through these notes in no particular order as usual, even though I have an order. I have a full order that I put these things in. So the next podcast format that the next podcast you listen to is going to have more questions from you guys by leaving a voicemail or texting 593-0085. And then some dumb news coming back, and then maybe some other segments. Since I'm relaunching my website, I'm trying to figure out which segments belong in like blog form and podcast form, or both. So we shall see. I'm going to do some testing. So keep an eye out on my website. Hopefully this week. Hopefully I can get it done this week. So just some fun announcements. If you haven't seen Long Shot yet with Charlize Theron, I think that's how you say her name, and Seth Rogen, it's a great movie. It came out today on digital, and it'll be out July 30th on like DVD and Redbox and whatnot. So I don't know why. It was just a really, really, I know why, but it was a really good movie, like amazing movie. Teresa said it was like one of her favorite movies ever, which was an interesting thing to hear from a Seth Rogen movie, because about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, she like didn't get the appeal of Seth Rogen or his movies. She hadn't seen Superbad or like anything. So in 1 week we watched like Superbad, 40-Year-Old Virgin. I think she saw this at the end. Then we watched, the hell else we watched? We watched Serve and Report? Nope. Something and Report. Observe and Report. There we go. With Anna Faris and Aziz. And we watched a few other Seth Rogen movies. So we were on a kick and we're like, oh, let's go see Long Shot. So we did. And she was like, that was amazing. It was great. It was a nice, mature movie for him and everybody. And we'll be seeing another Seth Rogen movie this weekend when we see Lion King. It's not really a Seth Rogen movie, but I'm excited for it. It's getting a lot of crap from critics and reviewers and whatnot, but I'm just excited for a movie. You know, just like a good, fun movie. It looks cool. The music's going to be good. The story is going to be good because we all know the story and the music and what it's supposed to look like. And why not? I feel like this normally would be a thing I complain about, but it's Disney, and The Lion King is one of my favorite movies ever. So I will give it a whirl. And this weekend before the concert, I also made bagels, which was fun. Fun as hell. So great. I made them earlier in the week. They just kind of messed up and sucked. So I redid them Saturday, and it was great. And I'm not going to get into the bagel making process on this podcast, but maybe that'll be one of my blog posts. I have some cooking blogs. Crazy. And then over the past few weeks, I didn't mention last week, we saw a few movies. Me and my mom saw a Toy Story 4. Teresa was sick that day, so just me and my mom went. And it was a great movie. You don't actually need to see the first three. I didn't really think it was a necessary movie, but they just released Toy Story Land in Disney World. They have all this Toy Story merch, all these rides, all this whatever. Toy Story was just in Kingdom Hearts 3, so I figured they would make a new movie, and they did. And I guess it's setting it up for like a longer franchise for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. And like side movies and possibly a TV series. I think it would work really well as a TV series, but it was a good movie. I laughed. Key and Peele were the best part of the movie, and it was just great. They did a great job. I love them. And then a few weeks ago, we saw Midsommar. We were going to see something else that weekend. I don't remember. It was down between Midsommar and something else, and we picked Midsommar. And what a weird movie. If you loved Hereditary, you're going to love Midsommar. If you thought Hereditary was just you're going to think Midsommar was just And if you hated Hereditary, then you will definitely hate Midsommar. And if you haven't seen them, I don't know. I don't even know if they're worth seeing. Does that even make sense? Like, it was good. I don't know if it's worth seeing. Like, if it's worth putting you through that. It just could have been way better. Same thing with Hereditary. Could have been way better. Like, there was Midsommar had like amazing shots, like the acting was good. Hereditary had amazing acting, like probably one of my favorite acted movie scenes of all time. Like top 3 favorite acting in a movie scene there would be all 3 scenes from Hereditary. Not going to spoil anything, but the dinner table scene was bananas, and the fireplace scene, and then another scene towards the end, but not the end. I thought it was the end. I was like, this is going to be an amazing ending, and it wasn't the end. Kind of same thing with Midsommar. I knew how Midsommar was going to end. If you, just from looking at the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks like a better version of The Wicker Man. And I mean, I haven't seen the original Wicker Man. I've just seen Nick Cage's version, and it's an amazing movie to hate watch. So I was like, oh, this is going to be like Nick Cage's Wicker Man done correctly. And it was done okay. Same concept, same kind of, not the same ending, kind of, but not really. And it just could have been so much better. So much better. Just a lot of stuff was unnecessary. Just a lot of unnecessary things happened, and I don't know. Just very strange. And I don't like when a movie tries to be, I don't know what the word is, like have like cliffhangers and like unanswered questions for like artistic value. Like, it's just stupid. Because there's one scene with the dude where there's a dude and a girl and they're alone. And like, it's a sex scene. But there's two different ways the sex scene can be interpreted. One is, oh, they wanted this to happen, and the other is, oh, this is rape. Like, this, it has two different, obviously two different feels. Obviously, one is consensual, one is rape, but it pushes the story different, and they acted as if one thing happened, but then towards the end kind of acted like another thing happened. It was very strange. Like, it was set up as one way, but then all the characters reacted as if it was something else, and then the dude acted as if it was the other thing. It was very confusing. Just very bizarre. And I just wish, like, things were a little more clear, and that it was, like, a little more, like, I don't know how to explain it, just, like, cohesive. Because it had a great story there, and even the sex scene was very unnecessary, but it was there, and you knew it was coming, like, 10 minutes away. You just knew. So I'm like, all right, let's get this over with. We've already seen, like, 30 deaths, several extremely gruesome, like, not horror gruesome, but just, like, I don't know, season 7 Walking Dead gruesome, but a little worse. And then the movie was over. Like, everybody in the theater was just like, okay. Just like, nobody was wowed or like shook. It was just like, okay, it's over. Now we go home. So I don't know. Wait for it to come out on Netflix or something and then just watch it with somebody. I don't know. Because watching it by yourself, you probably just get bored. Because there were several times where I would look at Teresa, she would just look at me, and we're like, why is this even in here? Like, it's a great scene, then it just kind of derails, and just like, what the hell are we watching? I don't know. I just hate, and then, like, the theories that are online, like, a theory with, like, the opening scene of the movie where, oh, it could be interpreted as this, like, just be coherent. Just be clear. Because if that's the case, it would have made the movie a lot better if this theory is correct. And it seems like it would be, but, like, just be a little more obvious and, like, drive the story with it, and then it would be a great movie. So the same dude did Hereditary and Midsommar, and I think he just needs to focus on directing, because, like, holy hell, some of the way the stuff was shot was incredible. So if he can do that and just get some story people to put it together, I think he'll be good. Because, God, it was just shot beautifully. I kind of want to go there, besides, you know, the whole cult sex murder thing that they have going on, allegedly, in Midsommar. I know the whole place isn't like that, but still. Yeah, all right. So anyways, enough about that. And if you saw, let me know what you think, because maybe I missed something. Or maybe I didn't, like, interpret things correctly, but if you saw, let me know what you think by either emailing podcast@jaredmcmullen.com or texting calling 843-593-0085. All of these people did it, and I'm going to read some of their stuff. Let's start with the emails, because I usually have these all in, like, all in a thing, but I don't. There we go. First question is from SPHH Games. He says, hey, Jared, just testing to see if this thing works. It does work, which is good, because I didn't actually test it before I put it live. So thank you for doing that. For your podcast, my question is, who was your worst teacher? Any funny stories would be nice in school. The worst teacher, geez. I'm trying to think, like, because at the time, my worst, all of my high school senior teachers were all terrible people, terrible humans. So I don't feel like getting into that story. I think I did in my book, Prankaholic, and all my terrible high school teachers. But I guess my college professors, I honestly don't even remember them, besides the one dude who was obsessed with feeling paper, and the one lady who, like, loved watching him feel paper, and he said that, like, this is how he gets off, word for word. So I guess those people would probably be the worst in terms of, like, just not teaching me anything. Growing up, I didn't like my 3rd grade teacher or my 5th grade teacher, but they were just strict. They were fine teachers. I was just an asshole. So, yeah, that would be that. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is from Jeff Compass. He says, question, I am going to college soon out of state, ironically enough to Florida, where all the dumb news happens. Do you have any advice for making friends or fitting in an entirely new environment? And how have you made friends over the years? Okay, well, two-part question, like two questions, which is how to make friends and to fit in a new environment, and how have I made friends? Two totally different questions. I guess I'll answer them both. How to make friends in a new environment. What I usually do is just kind of hang back for a day and just kind of see what people are like. And while you're hanging back, see if anybody is also kind of hanging back, like keeping to themselves, just like not jumping in with the rest of the group. Because that's kind of what I do. I kind of like to hang back, feel the situation, and then talk to people. And usually people that are hanging back, I'll like usually go over and make some like joke. Like, oh, it's cold in here or some shit. I don't know. I'm trying to think of my like my little acting gig when everybody was like standing around and they're like outgoing people, not so outgoing people. And I don't know, you just kind of make conversation with people. But yeah, especially if it's like college, you have to realize like besides the people that go like are from there, there are going to be a lot of people that are in the same element as you. They just move. They don't know anybody. So it might give this vibe in a room of like, it's so awkward and uncomfortable, but it's not because of you. It's because no one knows anybody. So if you just be yourself, go up to people. If you're a little more outgoing, just start talking to people, introduce yourself, pretend you know somebody. I don't know. Be like, hey, what's up, man? I know you, right? And you're like, no. And be like, oh, whoops. And now you know them. So I don't know. That works. I've done that a few times in awkward situations. And especially since most of the time I probably have met people before and I just don't remember. So I just pretend I know people. Like, oh, hey, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Which is true if you've never seen them. But then if you've met them before, you don't seem like an asshole. So that would be that. That's usually what I do. And that's what you should do. And you're in college. Like everyone, no one knows each other. And the people that do know each other like want to meet new people. So I guess just be confident. Be funny. Google a few jokes. Like icebreaker. Before I tell you, let's Google icebreaker jokes and see what actually comes up before I'm like, yeah, just Google icebreaker jokes. Okay. Icebreakerideas.com. Super short icebreaker jokes. Okay, so this would be the first one. Here's how you would open up college, right? You go to a party. It's probably at some frat house. There are all these dudes, probably shirtless, drinking beer, lifting weights, partying. Then there are all these girls covered in like fucking paint. So you come up, you have your super short icebreaker jokes that I prepared for you and told you to Google, and you did. And here's what you open up with. You probably just shout, right? The music's playing, but you shout over the music and you go, hey, everyone is gifted, but some people never open their package. That would not go over. I mean, I guess it could be sexual. And then that doesn't fly. But now you have everybody's attention, so you got to follow it up with like a better joke now. And joke number 2 is, there were 3 tomatoes, a mom, a dad, and a son. The son lagged behind and fell splat on the floor. His dad yelled to him, catch up, son. Goes like, catch up. You feel how tense this room is now? So now you have the room tense as hell. You kill the vibe of the party, and now everyone knows you. They may not like you, but now everybody knows you. God, what is with these jokes? 2 of these jokes my niece told me last week. I swear to God. Where the hell was it? I just lost it. Let me find it. Why was Cinderella thrown off the basketball team? Because she ran away from the ball. That's literally what she said the other day. And why is math so hard? Because I have so many problems. Those were 2 icebreaker jokes my 9-year-old niece said at the dinner table. So if it worked for her, it will work for you in a college setting. What? Okay, this says, use one or more of these funny product package directions to break the ice and entertain a group. Okay, so not only are you going to break the ice, but you're going to entertain these people. On a bag of corn chips, right, you could be a winner. no purchase necessary, details inside, and then in brackets it just says the shoplifter special. Okay, so you stole chips. It's very college-like. On a bar of antibacterial soap. Write directions. Use like regular soap. I don't understand this. How is this going to work? On a child Superman costume. Here we go. So now you have to bring a child with you to this college party where you don't know anybody. Bring a child. Make him wear a Superman costume. Make sure it's at a party where no one's wearing costumes. So this would make sense. So in a child Superman costume, write, wearing of this garment does not enable you to fly. And then in brackets, I do not blame the company. I blame the parents for this one. What? I don't understand. No. These are terrible. And pretty much don't do anything you see characters do on TV, because none of that's real. Like where they wait for a group to laugh and they just join in with laughter. Don't do that. Never do that. It's a terrible thing to do. Everyone notices. I don't know. Something you could do, which I would probably try to do if I was in college now. Not at 28, but in 2019. If I was at college age in 2019, I would like leave your phone somewhere. Like just when you walk by, if there's a couch, like drop it behind somebody. Then like 2 minutes later, just like announce to everybody like, hey, may have lost my phone. Has anybody seen a lost phone? Then somebody's going to be like, oh, is this it? Oh, thank you. And then you're like now interacting with a group of people, small group of people, but they found your phone. Or they steal your phone and they're a bunch of thieves. And now you're out of phone. So maybe bring like a backup phone. It's better than bringing a freaking kid in a Superman cape. I hope this helps. I hope this gave you some sort of thing to do. Because, Jesus. This website was terrible, but also amazing. All right, so let's... God. Tim, who's actually in Myrtle Beach, going to meet up with him in a few days, says, what was an argument you couldn't believe you really had with somebody? So many. There are so many. I believe it happens once a week. Trying to think of stuff that's not already going into my second book. Because I have to feel out some of these stories. I don't even know. Just my mind's just getting baffled trying to think of some. Can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it happens more frequently than it should. So, yeah. All right, so now let's move over to the Instagram. Got a whole bunch on Instagram. All right, let's start going through these. Jordan Walters, what up, buddy? What up, Jordan? You're awesome. Haven't seen you in decades. He said, any good stand-up specials, new and old, that you would recommend? Thoughts and Prayers by Anthony Jeselnik has been a favorite of mine. We've watched it twice in the last month. It's amazing. It's on Netflix. And then his new stand-up special, Fire in a Maternity Ward, also amazing. But Thoughts and Prayers, amazing. We watched Kevin Hart's new one. We weren't really a big fan of that. We watched Adam Devine's. Weren't a big fan of that. I don't know. I'm just weird with stand-up specials. Joe Rogan's last stand-up special was good too. I can't remember what that was called. Lynn Blanchard, what's up, Lynn? Said, whoops, closed it. No, it's creating a video. No, oh, I just did something. Oh, no. Did something on Instagram. She said, are you going to the Area 51 raid? No, but like 500,000 people are. And what's amazing about this is it's obviously a joke, but there are people that are going to show up for sure. Like, because it's a meme, people are going to like be there to prove that they could try to do it, but I guess actually do it. It's going to be nuts. But I'm just thinking, like, even if 10% of those people showed up, that's like 50,000 people. That's still amazing. Even if 1% showed up, that's 5,000 people. Like, That's an insane amount of people. So I can't wait. I can't. I'm excited to see what happens. I hope nobody gets killed. As long as nobody gets killed, I'm gonna be a happy boy. Gonna be a little happy boy. As long as nobody gets killed. Next question. Top 5 movies all time. Papa Vondi wants to know, and best cartoon of all time. To me, best cartoon of all time, Invader Zim, which is they're coming out with a movie this summer on Netflix, so I'm excited. Top 5 movies of all time. Oh boy, this is in no particular order. Just different categories, I guess. Favorite animated movie, Lion King. Favorite comedy, oh boy, is I guess the original. No. Oh boy, it's like a 3-way tie between Superbad, The Hangover, and They Came Together, which is a very underrated but amazing movie. It's like a romantic comedy parody. I don't know if it's on Netflix. There used to be a website. Flexible, it's called now. Wait, you can't search anymore? Jesus. Is it Just Watch? Let's put They Came Together. Let's see, They Came Together is not on anything. You could stream it on Hoopla, Vidyou, and that's it. It's terrible. Worth it, though. Who has it the cheapest? Amazon and YouTube have it. To rent it for the cheap. Yeah, do that. And then favorite, like, action documentary movie is Goodfellas. Not really. It is an action movie, but more of a just crime movie. It is great. Favorite horror movie, I guess, is like Exorcist. I guess everyone says that though, but it's good. There hasn't really been one recently that like shook me. And then favorite, what else am I missing? Favorite romantic comedy, I guess, would be They Came Together because it is a romantic comedy. And then what other genres do we have? Favorite musical? Emo the Musical. That was a great movie. Like stupid as hell, but a great movie. Trying to think. What other genres? Favorite Pixar movie, which I guess is the same as animated movie, but separate category. Favorite Pixar movie would probably be, at this point, what the hell's it called? Coco. And then, yeah. And then what other movie genres are there? That's really it. So those are my favorite movies. How do you feel about the economic surge in Namibia? Namibia? I don't know. I would have to read about it. If you go, Seth P wants to know, not to be confused with Luke P from The Bachelorette, but Seth P says if you go back to the FNC era / days, would you do anything different? Probably not, because I'm here now and I'm happy now. So I'm going to say no. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Some of the pranks maybe not do, just because looking back, some of them haven't really aged well or like aren't funny to me now, but you don't know what the hell your humor is going to be like 10 years from now. So not really. Good Time Charlie, oh boy, wants to know, how did you get so lucky with that wife of yours? Because she likes me, Charlie. I assume that's why. Or she just married me because you're my friend and she just secretly wants to be with you. So either way, I lucked out. And then a few Hughes loose. That's terrible to say. Says, what have you been up to post FNC / late night web show? I covered this kind of last podcast, but I'll say it again. Been doing this, been producing other shows, other podcasts, other YouTubers stuff. I've been editing videos for other people. I've been managing social media. I've started a consulting company a few months ago and just kind of got it all up and running now and started to do that. And I'm launching a tech e-commerce website next month, hopefully. That's the goal, and go from there. I don't think it's going to be promoted on here just because I'm weird. Yeah, and then we have a voicemail that somebody actually left. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but does he say his name in the voicemail? Nope. All right, but let's see. Let's listen to it.
Hey, J-Rad. So I have this thing that I discovered on the internet. I was on the weird side of the internet. I think we've all been there. And if you haven't been there, don't go there. But anyway, there's this crazy phenomenon that I came upon. I think it's called ASMR. And when I clicked on this video, I was like, it has quite a bit of views. And it was this girl breathing, like inhaling, exhaling, you know what breathing is. And it was a 30-minute video of her breathing. And I was thinking to myself, is this a fetish or what is this? Long story short, what are your thoughts on this ASMR business? I just, what's the world coming to? I don't know. Okay. Thank you. If you can answer that. Your thoughts on it. Is it a fetish? Is it sexual? Is it, just to go to sleep? I have a headache. I don't understand this generation. All right, bye.
All right. Well, I will answer that because I have seen many of ASMR videos. Not on purpose, just like to try and do what you did, which was to understand what the hell is it about and whatnot. So, God, there was an ASMR video I came across with this dude. I tweeted it the other day and just put like, what the fresh hell is this as my tweet. And it was this dude, it's like a 10-minute video. Like, he's taking KFC chicken and like making a queso sauce. And then he's just eating it. It's bizarre. So it's like using sounds and people whispering. And to me, it's not sexual to me, but I perceive it as other people that enjoy it. They must be enjoying it in a sexual way. Like that's the only way I could see this working for people. So for example, if I was going to do a Rubik's Cube ASMR, it would be this. It would be, hey guys, I hope you're having a great week. Today I'm going to be doing a Rubik's Cube solve ASMR. So here we go. And it's solved. That is what that is my impression of what a Rubik's Cube solve ASMR would be like. And they have it for people to sleep, for people to like relax, and it's bizarre. People just like make sounds over and over again, and I guess it could be calming and soothing and relaxing, but to me it just creeps me the hell out. It's strange. I don't like it. And from what I've read, people feel tingly, I guess. If they have headphones on and they're listening to it, they feel like chills down their spine and stuff, and they enjoy that sensation. I don't feel anything except rage when listening to this stuff. And maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I'm not allowing myself to enjoy such a new experience because I'm old and this is what these kids are into, and it's bizarre, but I think it's mostly sexual, like 99% sexual. Because when I watch it, I'm just baffled the whole time, and I just, like I said, I just get angry. So Thank you for that question. I almost am afraid to get any more questions. And then, oh, Jesus. Brittany says, how much wood can a woodchuck chuck? If a woodchuck could chuck wood, do they like chucking wood, or is it a weird job they're forced into? Like, should there be a Disney movie about a little woodchuck who just doesn't want to chuck wood, but his family doesn't understand the 2020 version of Ratatouille, if you would? I mean, he can't chuck wood. Isn't that the whole point? Like, how much wood would he chuck if he could chuck wood? He can't chuck wood. So wouldn't it be a better movie if it was about a woodchuck who wants to chuck wood and does chuck wood? And he's the first woodchuck who actually chucks wood and answers the question, how much wood would he chuck if he could chuck wood? And that's how the movie ends. And that is the last question that I will be answering tonight. Gonna edit this up and post it tomorrow morning, but thank you guys for listening. I will be recording another podcast and posting it next week with some dumb news and everything like that. So if you have not already subscribed to this podcast, it is on Spreaker, it is on iTunes, it is on Spotify, it is on Stitcher, it's on Overcast. Allegedly, it's on Laughable. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on wherever the hell you listen to podcasts on your phone, tablet, computer, watch, whatever. It is there. Even in your car, it's on all that stuff. It's going to be, I think it's on Google, the Google Podcast app. Submitted that last week. Should be on there. I should probably check. And thank you guys for listening. If you want to be a part of this, send some stuff in because we're going to have lots of segments next week. But answering these questions was hilarious. You can either go to podcast@jaredmcmullen.com, shoot an email there if you want to remain anonymous. Just don't put your name in. I mean, your name obviously shows up in the email, but just don't put your name in the email, and I won't read it. And leave a voicemail. If you don't want your name read, don't say your name in the voicemail. Like this person did, even though I actually know who this person is, but maybe he just didn't want his name out there. And if you want to leave a voicemail, you can obviously do that by calling or texting 843-593-0085. And one more time, 843-593-0085. So eventually there'll be a question that I'll ask, and you guys can submit answers or submit stories. But for now, depending on when you're listening to this, just text anything, any question, any story, any what have you that you would like to know or want to share, and I'll read them. So if it's like 2 months from now and you're going back listening to podcasts and you have your phone out, just shoot a text right now. And if you're listening right now, take your phone out and do it. And keep an eye out on jaredmcmullen.com. Hopefully I'll get that up with the blog post. And yeah, I got some fun stuff coming up. Going to be shooting some videos, hopefully. Getting some content out in the next month. We'll see. I have some ideas. Just depends on how it pans out. If you're on the Twitters, I'm at McMullenJared on Twitter. If you're on the Instagram, I'm at Jared J. McMullen on Instagram, Jared JMCMULLIN. And my birthday's coming up. It's 10 days from now. It's on July 26th. I'm going to be 28, and I feel terrible about it. So, I don't know the hell you want to do with that information. Just on July 26th, wish me a happy damn birthday, because I'm going to be having a nice little crisis. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. I will see you next week with some dumb news and whatnot.